Welcome to another episode of Garage King PH. On this episode, we have another legendary bike to check out, and it is the Indian Chief Dark Horse. To date, this is the biggest in terms of displacement that we've ever reviewed here. Isa na rin sa pinakamalaking na ride ko sa totoo lang. And this Dark Horse is one of the 3 variants that you can choose from if you are in the market for a cruiser bike. And what a choice you have on these Indian Chief bikes, because riding one would make you understand that torque and badass looks is the game here. Among the 3 variants, nandyan ang Super Chief, which has the bags and footboard na sobrang comfortable tignan. Hopefully, we also get to review that here in the channel. There is also the Bobber and this Dark Horse, which both looks amazing. Ang gugwapong motorsiklo. Those looks, paired with a 1900cc engine that has just pouring torque on every twist of the throttle, damn, what more could you ask for? The brakes on the Chief is adequate for the power that its engine delivers. Bagay lang sa chassis na mas magaan, stiff, and well-balanced kumpara sa ibang comparable na cruisers in the market. It can go as well as it can stop. Notable din ang location ng foot peg nito na naka-forward, which some people may find uncomfortable especially on longer rides. Pero sa mga city cruises and medium-length rides, tulad ng binyahe ko mula Quezon City pa uwi sa amin dito sa Tagaytay, well, sakto lang naman. I find the riding position not as sporty, but rather would put you in a very commanding position that would make you just want to pick a speed and cruise steady, lalo pa at may cruise control ito. To explain more about what this bike has to offer, let's go ahead and have a walk around the bike, folks. The Indian Chief Dark Horse, okay? Pakita lang natin ang kanyang pangalan. Indian, of course, is the brand, Chief is the model. Tapos yung Dark Horse, yun yung variant nitong Indian Chief na to. Napakaganda, laking motor, mahaba. Perfect for the chill cruise. Ito yun. Pero not because I said na chill cruise doesn't mean na wala siyang performance well. You know, torque is intoxicating with this bike. Speaking of torque, I just want to point out this 116 that it tells us here, cubic inches, di ba? Well, sa cc, it's equivalent to 1900 cc. So 1900 ang motor na to. And to give you a better idea kung anong itsura ng engine block ng 1900, well, ayan. V-twin. Okay, let's take a look at the engine from this side naman, and let me tell you guys, 116, that's the air box, by the way. Nandyan yung kanyang air filter. Torque figure, if you're interested, is right here. Yan, yung sinasabi kong intoxicating na torque. Combined with the riding position, chill riding position, tapos ang ganda ng torque delivery. Yun talaga ang bentahin nitong motor na to, yung torque. Ang sarap gamitin ito. I mean, hindi ka kailangan pumiga ng pumiga sa throttle, and it can deliver the goods. I mean, low rev, you don't need to wring the engine out para mag-squeeze ng power, and you're good. At ang ganda, ang lalim ng tunog niyan pag nakabukas, which in a moment, magsa-sound check tayo. But let me show you first the basic build of the bike. So, single-seater, cruiser, medyo cruiser ang dating niya, no? Tapos yung suspension niya, right side up. You have here like hindi naman siya drag bar, no? May rise siya ng kaunti. But it puts you on that kind of position, parang medyo drag racy ang kanyang position. At katulad ng most big cruisers, naka-belt type siya. Hindi siya nakakadena, hindi rin naka-drive shaft. Tapos ayan, single seat, ikaw lang ang mauupo dyan. Komportable naman, tapos walang upuan para sa pillion. Although the other variant, the Super Chief, has the seat for the pillion, meron ding foot pegs for the pillion, and naka-floorboard yun if I'm not mistaken. Now, I would like to talk about this TFT right here. Touchscreen yan, and it doesn't have a key. Instead, ito lang fob na to, na pagka malapit ka na dito sa motor, well yan, nakasulat mga DH, I suppose that stands for Dark Horse. If this key is just inside your pocket, tulad yan, and you stand close enough dun sa motor, well, by the way, pakita ko lang sa inyo since nandito na rin tayo sa angle na to. Legendary rides, Indian Motorcycles Manila. Thank you so much, Indian. Love the shirt. So anyway, as I was saying, if the key fob is in your pocket tapos nakatayo ka na malapit dito sa motor, all you have to do to start the bike is to simply just press this, okay? Magigising na yan, maririnig mo na yung whistle ng kanyang EFI, priming the fuel line. Tapos yan, may graphic show. After that graphic show, you then press this. This is the kill switch, okay? Nakakambyo yata tayo. Let's just put this thing in neutral. Ngayong naka-neutral na tayo, let's turn it on. I don't know, man. That's a very, very deep engine noise. Diyan sa screen na yan, tulad ng nabanggit ko, touch screen, right? So you can do this. Yan yung RPM mo. And a lot of different information about the bike. So lagyan nga natin sa sport. So yan, ride mode. Ma-alter mo siya just using this, brightness. Ang galing, high-tech. Patay na muna natin. So yun ang functionality niya. Ito ang kanyang busina, the control for the lights, hazard and signal buttons. Tapos if you want to control your music, you can use this, right? Sa kabila, bukod sa kill switches, nandyan din ang iyong cruise control joystick for the cruise control. Now, if we take a look at the front side of the bike, makikita natin naka right side up na fork. And yung rake niya, ibig sabihin yung angulo niya pa ganun, in a relaxed position. Kaya mahaba yung bike kasi medyo nakahiga na yung fork. You have here a 19-inch na wheel, a front cast, hindi siya nakarayos, no? And single-sided na disc brake. Balik tayo sa side na yon. There you go. Indian brand din yung kanyang caliper. This is the rear side. Malaki din yung disc brake na, you know, it's adequate for what the bike is for. Yung weight niya, kayang-kaya naman pigilin itong brakes na to. But one thing that I've learned to be more effective sa braking is sabay mo gamitin. Kukurot ka dito, syempre tatapa ka rin sa foot brake mo. This rear wheel is 17-inch. Tapos like most American cruisers, yun nga sinasabi ko kanina, naka-belt and dual suspension. Dual shock sa likod. Now let's talk about the pipe. Okay, kung napapansin natin, naka matte black. Even the engine is black. Na napansin ko sa ibang variant na hindi dark horse, chrome yung mga yan. Chrome exhaust, chrome blocks. By the way, tingin ko doon sa ganun, medyo matured ang look niya. While this one gives you that bad boy kind of look, that rebel kind of look. And I like it. Even yung paint. This is what they call alumina jade, if I'm not mistaken. And it's matte. Ganda, greenish. How is it like to ride in traffic? Yan ang karaniwan tanong sa mga malalaking motor. Kumusta yung init? Well, init, of course, may ini-emit siya ng init. Lahat naman talaga ng engine, umiinit. Nagpo-produce talaga ng init. Ito, ang laki ng engine ito, so you feel it on the, you know, inside part of your legs.
And this is where the magic of this engine shines, folks. The technology that shuts off one cylinder that is positioned closer to the rider is such a big help in managing the engine heat. I did not feel like I was sitting on top of a stove, unlike on past experiences with American cruisers. This is far cooler to sit on in traffic, and that is a plus, especially sa sama ng traffic ulit ngayong nagluluwag na sa restrictions ang Pilipinas. And there you have it. This Indian Chief Dark Horse is a solid bike, especially for those wanting a cruiser with an attitude, looks, and most of all, performance. Now, of course, every bike has their pros and cons. Not every bike is for everybody, and we've come to the point where we'll be pointing out the cons that I see on this bike. First that I'm seeing is the single seat. This may or may not work if you're trying to convince your wife when buying it, but with the right explanation that no one can back ride, it may be in your favor. Well, next is the forward controls, which may be an issue to some in terms of comfort, but hey, anyone who would ride on this bike would look dang good. And looking good in a bike is kind of priceless, isn't it? And there is the price of 1,290,000. But then again, is that going to be listed on the cons of this bike? It is a premium brand, American made, loaded with tech, and the grunt is there. It may not be for everyone, but I think it is priced fairly for what the bike offers. And now comes the torque. With its 1,900
900cc engine, well, tell me about power folks. Napakalakas nitong humatak at gustong gusto ko ito para sa chill at malayo ang ride. Dahil hindi strained at hindi matutulig ang tenga mo sa tunog ng makina. It's all deep bass notes and the slight crack of the throttle just gives you a heart-pounding push. Ride 1 para malaman nyo ang sinasabi kong nakakalunod na torque. Sarap eh. Just schedule your test ride at the Access Plus dealership and feel the power that this bike has to offer. Tapos, meron pang 3 ride modes, which the sport mode is just my favorite. Mind-blowing torque, yun lang talaga ang masasabi ko mga chong. Heto pa, ang engine heat management sa bike na ito ay very impressive I would say. First off, I want to point out that this engine is huge. Malaki. 1,900cc of metal and combustion happening inside of it. Iinit talaga yan mga chong, one way or another basta't nakabukas ang makina nito. Pero yung technology na namamatay ang isang cylinder nito kapag naka-idle lang is a game changer. The heat is significantly lessened and riding this in the heavy Manila traffic is not a big deal. Maybe it's too long and too big to squeeze in and out, but sitting in traffic on it is not a torture. That I can dare say, versus the other cruisers out there. And relative to the other cylinder shutting off, that favors the fuel economy and the efficiency is something that we could use right now with the crazy fuel prices. For a 1,900cc engine, this one is fuel efficient. Something that can't be in the same sentence before this engine chief. Usually, pag malalaking makina, malalakas din sa gasolina. Next to that is the badass looks. Tulad ng nabanggit kanina, feet forward, hands stretched out, long and low bike, big stonking V-twin, and blacked out parts is one heck of a combination folks. I feel like an action star once again, riding a motorcycle. Good job Indian. The lean angle and its overall agility is also worth noting folks. I took this bike in the twisties and there's not one time that I've scraped a foot peg. I was scared to lean it, base na rin sa experience ko with cruisers, but this one is different. Ang kapit ng mga gulong and the pegs are high enough. For a big bruiser cruiser, the agility of this cheap dark horse is excellent and confidence-inspiring kahit ang laki-laki niya. So, if those things sounds good to you and you would like to own a keeper cruiser bike, I strongly suggest you visit Access Plus showroom and have your test ride. These units sells like a hotcake, so you better decide quick para di ka maubusan. Paano folks? This has been your Garage King PH. Show some love to the channel by liking this video and subscribing. With that, you ride safe out there. Ciao.